boy.
To clinch her second title of the season. Indeed. Brandon. There it is. Nice. Bang.
Winning shot. Simo.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is a wonderful, wonderful evening here at Yorktown Lanes. Emil Williams Jr. with Sidney Brummett. It's the 2025 PWBA Cleveland Open. We have reached the pinnacle of this competition, and boy, 16 games, round-robin match play. We saw a lot of things take place, but Sidney Brummett, what we did see was the birthday girl, the 29-year-old Stephanie Zavala, stay claim to the #1 seed. The last time she won in this building, she also was the #1 seed in 2021. Can she get it done again, one game to win her 6th PWBA title?
Yes, no question.
Oh, that was a simple answer. Okay.
And that was, I say that because that's exactly what she told me.
How about that?
Yeah.
What else went into that conversation real quick?
She just said, I'm going to win this week because I'm confident. And, you know, there was, at the beginning of her career, we were all kind of like, man, this girl's so confident. And it almost seems like there's no reason because she was so new on tour. But now there's every reason. She has 5 titles, and today she is determined to get her 6th one.
Yeah, Stephanie Zavala was great today, and so was Olivia Kamarowski. That the second leading storyline, if you will, used urethane exclusively, qualifying 2 rounds of match play, 2 rounds of qualifying set. When it looked like things might have been bleak this morning, or I should say this afternoon, she started with 165. She stayed the course. A couple of games later, biggest game of the week, and we've got ourselves an opportunity, first player making their first ever show here tonight.
Yeah, I loved what she said to me. She said, I don't even feel like I've made the show. I'm just bowling. I'm just enjoying the process, and we'll get into it during her match, but she had a key conversation just last week because she didn't even know if she should be out here like just a week ago.
Interesting enough, we will talk about that in just a little bit. The #3 seed tonight is last year's Rookie of the Year, and that is Crystal Elliott, who spent a lot of time also in the leading position, but she stakes claim to the #3 seed and said, we know it's just a matter of time for Crystal, not only when she's going to win, but how many. Could this be the night tonight?
Yeah, I mean, she made 3 shows last year. There are so many greats that made hundreds of TV shows, right? But you really only win about 20% of them to get into the Hall of Fame. Crystal's just going to keep knocking on the door. Today, it might actually open.
It might, and our opening match features the legendary Kelly Kulick taking on the 5th seed Dasha Kovalova. Kelly was near the top of the standings as well, had the roller coaster, but she maintained a strong position. Dasha Kovalova, meanwhile, shot 258 to get to this point. Said Dasha also looking for her 6th title, Kelly looking for her 8th.
Yeah, and Dasha told me before the show she's just running out of energy. She felt like mentally those 8 games were so difficult that now she really has to dig in to be present for this match against Kelly.
Well, let's get it underway. We head to lanes 23 and 24, the start of our championship round, and there you have it. Dasha Kovalova will start the match. Said so by Kelly Kulick, the higher seed here. First shot. And a favorable 10-pin carry. Kulick. First shot looking to answer. And for Kelly, just a 3-pin, but I mentioned the roller coaster a little bit. Kelly, there were big moments. She shot 278, then followed that up with a game in the 160s, then followed that up with another game plus 240. It was an interesting round, but, I mean, we really got a chance to watch Kelly navigate the ups and downs, something that, in regards to experience, of course, she knows she leads this show in that category.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Kelly leads in experience. What was so difficult over the last 16 games for these women were the different pods that they had of the lanes. And, you know, you would go from the low end to the high end to one of those middle bays, and they all played completely different. And it really showed it with Kelly because she was jumping around quite a bit that second round of match play. Same with Olivia Kamarowski. You know, we touched on that. She had a rough first game. It was down on 7 through 10. That bounce back was when she got out of that pod of lanes. So interesting to see here. 23 and 24, typically not the highest scoring the first few games.
Second frame, Kulick. And she too notches her first strike here in the opening match. Quick real-time replay. Kovaleova, good lane side look here. And that maneuvers its way into an 8-10. Of course, Sydney, this lane pattern has been presented its fair share of challenges, to say the least. 39 feet we talked about for reverse or the brush drop, but a lot of buff going on in this pattern. We'll put that on the screen for you here in just a moment. But at the end of the block of match play, you talked about Dasha's bowling ball not really being convincing going through the 1-3, and it might be a little bit of that here on the fresh.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And she really said that she threw a stealth mode and an effector. She's choosing to start the match with the effector. It's lane shined. She said, didn't know the particular surface it's on it, just lane shined. And from where I'm sitting, the bowling ball feels too small. And what I mean by that is it's going to want to go too long before it starts to pick up. Because if you look at the other side of that, you got Kelly. Kelly's throwing a giant symmetrical bowling ball. Yes, it is still a bit shiny, but the core is going to want to pick up much sooner.
Ooh, a pin that came from, looked like the ceiling there to take out the 10, and just a 6-pin here for Kovaleova.
And there you have our lane graph on the left side of your screen, 39 feet, 27 mils. That reverse brush drop is 35 feet. That means our pattern's going to play a bit closer to 37 feet. If you ask one of the greatest lane men on earth, and also one of the greatest bowlers, John Janowitz, would tell you 37 feet is death length. He says that because there are so many different options for how you can play it. You can go straight, you can go left and curve them, and you don't really know which one's right until you're wrong. And so that happened here with the women this week. We saw people go straighter, like Dasha is right now, to people moving way far to the left, to the middle part of the lane, players like Stephanie Zavala.
Here's Kelly from Union, New Jersey. Oh my. Boy, you can tell this is the fresh. This is what you're talking about on repeat. We saw a little bit of this, actually a lot of it, a little bit during qualifying, but in particular today during the two match play rounds because of that less traffic, of course, not a lot of bowling balls going down the lane.
Yeah, and I was talking to Stephanie Zavala before the practice even started, and she said, hey, I'm going to think about playing a little bit of offense here for myself, and I'm going to develop this lane. She said, I'm going to probably throw urethane and maybe even plastic up where I want to have hold for probably the entire 10 minutes. And so it also is going to affect the women who are trying to play right on top of that hold or to the right of it, because if they get it up the lane, they're going to feel like it never hooks if it's in that zone where she threw it. Then if they get a little left of it, it's going to duck hook and go left. And so what's great for Stephanie is that she can get left of all of that, and her ball will circle around the hold, and she'll be able to use it. But the other women, it might actually hurt them.
Kelly set the step up in the fourth frame First show of the season. She made one in 2024. In fact, she's made one in each of the now previous 4 seasons. Same spot, and it just labored down lane. That wiggle, as we like to say here.
Yeah, she said as she backed off the approach, I have one of my headset earbuds off, and Kelly said, good shot. You know, it wasn't the result that she expected, and that's the hardest part about bowling, is how do you separate your execution from what happened down lane? You can't tie them together, because now she knows I have to make a move, I have to do something different.
Very intriguing to watch this unfold here. But Sid, you called it. You said you would prefer to be the 2 of the 3. Of course, if you couldn't be the top seed, give it a run, and sends it in front. 2 in front of the 10, back-to-back opens for Kulick. The 48-year-old legend, first woman to win a PBA title. Of course, the historic PBA Tournament of Champions in 2010. Good look at a combo. Rob Gotcho of Team Storm and Kelly. Beyond the backdrop of Sid, me, and Mike. Now to Dosh. Great shot. You like this placement here, Sid?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's what's right for Dosh. That's what's so interesting about this pattern is there's no one right answer. I talked about it during the match play, but I was chatting with my ball rep in the middle of the first set yesterday of qualifying, and I said, what's kind of annoying is like there's 1,000 ways to do this, and so it's not obvious. So there are a couple different ways you can attack it, and you have to do it in the way that's what's right for you, what your eye sees best, what you can repeat, and what will give you the best score.
Looking for a double here. Won't get the mix, but just a single pin.
We do have a deadwood on the right side of lane 23. We'll have to get that removed before Dasha can shoot her spare.
Take this opportunity to thank the wonderful family here, the Cottrells, Jeremy, Aaron, their entire family. 4 generations here at Yorktown Lanes. Kulick now stepping up 5th frame after back-to-back opens. Mm. 10 pin. It's a better shot.
It's a great shot from Kel. I mean, I truly think that the left and the right lane were so similar. It's just, it's been a point to make sure you separate the 2 lanes, play them differently.
Ten-pin spare converted. Kelly looking for her first win since 2021. She bowled 14 events that season. Seven match play appearances. Made 5 shows in 2021. Won the PWBA Albany Open in South Glens Falls, New York. That first title since the relaunch, that was back in 2017. Very emotional win, part of our Moments of the Decade countdown, which was dedicated to her mother, Carol. Just got to see it. It does not. Same situation here. This left lane It's not kind. We've said the left lane hasn't been kind a lot today, Sid.
Yeah, it looked like she moved left. It looks like she tried to move away from the urethane that was being thrown during practice, and heard her say super vocally after she threw a shot, another good shot.
So Kelly now with 3 opens in the last 4 frames. 80 in the 6th, and now Kovaleova with the opportunity here. Sixth frame, Kovaleova. Had to lean on it. And that light mixer has been very good for Dasha. I felt like a lot of the shots we watched her throw as we look at the replay gave the light mixer connect, especially near the end of match play.
Yeah, she had 2 that were straight through the 8-9, 1 trip 4. The rest were definitely light shakers. Late roll on the 10.
Can she double? That's through the nose. And a 310 here for Kovaleova. Sid, why did you talk about or mention the comment in regards to if you had a choice, being either of the top 3 seeds would have been a little bit better than bowling in the opening match? Why was that?
The fresh looks awful.
Simply put.
To put it, and just clear as day. The fresh looks really hard unless your name is Olivia Kamarowski. You know, unless you wanted to throw urethane. You know, I think another person who could have gotten away with it was Stephanie Zavala, but she ran away with, you know, leading the tournament. Great conversion there. Just because both Stephanie and Olivia are so willing to throw urethane, it gives them a great reaction to the pocket. They catch a double every once in a while, and they shoot 2-teen. Or when you throw reactive, this is a ball change for Kel to an Ion Pro from a Phase 2. Ion Pro in a similar category to the Effector that Dasha's throwing.
Still well within the match here. Will the ball change work? Wow. That's about as deflating as a difficult, like, whoopee cushion. That's the air is just out.
Yeah, Kel's just shaping it so much more than Dasha is, and it's because Kel's ball roll picks up sooner than Dasha's does, so it forces her feet further to the left. But it feels like throughout all of the practice, all the shots that went down the lane, 10 minutes dedicated to creating hold for people later in the stepladder match is affecting Kelly.
Oh, the max score now for Kelly is 179, and you see the red circles if you're just joining us. Opening match here. Dasha Kovalova, the number 4 seed, or excuse me, number 5 seed. Kelly Kulick, the number 4 seed. A big game by Olivia Kamarowski. The difference, because Kamarowski moved into the 2nd position, she moved around Kelly, dropping her into that 4th spot. She actually moved in front of Crystal Elliott and Kelly Kulick, speaking of Olivia.
That's why we love Kelly, isn't it?
Classic Kelly fashion. In fact, wanted to give a shout out to all of her line dancing friends. Best shot of the match, of course. Well, we've seen stranger things happen, and not the TV show. Here in this sport, Dasha's got to take care of business here. She's leaned on it on the right lane. It looks a tad left. It is, and gets out of trouble. That was 4-9 for just a little bit. Qualified 14th at the first block. That was 15th. Said Dasha talked a little bit about just maintaining, having enough energy, and a little bit mentally tired. What did she expand upon in regards to that?
Yeah, she just talked about how the last 8 games today were exhausting. She had to try so hard to be present, and like, to be honest, she's just not loving the game right now. Her and I have talked about it extensively over the last 3 weeks, and her goal isn't necessarily to win, which is such a fun place to play from, right? Her goal is to fall back in love with the game. When I was chatting with her, first shark on the left lane, yeah. But when I was chatting with her, she was just so excited that she made the show with her boyfriend Sam here, because he is done traveling with her for the summer after this series. And so she was just excited for him to see that. He's not a bowler. And so she wanted him to witness that and see what, she lives for. And she just wants to enjoy the game again. It's so hard when you're a perfectionist, and she's comparing her current self to her past self. She said, I just want to be Dasha from college again. I'm like, it's in there. It's in there. It's just we have to find her. And she didn't magically go away at any point in time either.
Oh! Well, I got obviously, right, lower scoring situation here for Kelly, but I don't know if you could have a better person in this situation than Kelly, because she's always going to, at least externally, still find a way to put on a show.
Yeah. She's an entertainer at her core. I asked her what it would mean to get a win today. And she said it was simply just refreshing to remind herself that she can compete again and that she's doing all the right things in the sport, being a ball rep on the PBA 50 tour, coaching Junior Team USA. She just wanted to do it for herself. And I don't know that Kelly will watch this back, and I don't know that my opinion matters. But I would tell Kel, I don't think a win proves that. I think knocking on the door is more than enough, and we all see that she still has it in her. It's so obvious, and I think Kel will win again. I know Kel will win again. I just don't know exactly when.
Oh, she can start over, certainly. Loving this left lane after the ball change. You mentioned, I think maybe earlier today, you said just kind of describing the numerous roles now, as you just did again, that Kelly now holds. And I talked about the mentor portion of it, and always willing to teach. I think she's a teacher by trade. Mm-hmm. I saw some of the line dancing family. They are indeed watching and supporting.
Her degree is in elementary education.
Makes complete sense. The legend, Kelly Kulick, 147, of course, won't get it done today, but does not diminish the light that she shined here on the Cleveland Open and these great fans here at Yorktown Lanes through the first 2 days. Again, early programming note, tomorrow begins anew. Bowl TV Open Day 1 qualifying. We'll be back at it right here in the morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Sid will be out on the lanes. Mike and I will have it for you, along with Spencer Mosier to some degree. Ball change there for Dasha. What's she looking for at this point as she gets prepared to take on Crystal Elliott?
She's just trying to get comfortable, I think. There's got to be a bit of adrenaline at this point, and trying to win another title, trying to get to number 6. We have 2 players on the show today trying to get to 6 titles, her and Stephanie Zabala. just getting comfortable, maybe seeing a different shape.
Well, that right lane, and obviously watching Kelly, but that the 2-8, 2-8-10, 2-10. Yeah, I felt like it took about, what, 4 games to kind of get away from that in match play specifically because of the least amount of traffic in that regard.
Yeah, because it feels like it hooks enough that you have to get your feet far enough left, but then nothing has developed to the right. That was the good thing about qualifying. And I think why we saw some scores pretty early in qualifying is because there was enough traffic to the right. But here in our TV show, we're just not going to see that.
Our remaining finalists are going to come over to the championship pair for some warm-up shots, and then we will have our next match. Kovaleova versus Elliott.
All right, folks. We've got our first giveaway upcoming. All right, so don't go anywhere. If you're listening or watching in full screen, go ahead and get out of it now. All right, there's a giveaway on the way. But first, let's hear a word from Storm, the leading manufacturer of high-performance bowling balls. Visit stormbowling.com to pick your next Storm bowling ball. And always remember to bowl up a Storm. Giveaway next here on Bowl TV.
What is it about bowling that captivates us so much? Mastery of the game is impossible, but perfection is just within reach. Success seems to lie 60 feet ahead, but the real battle takes place 6 inches between your ears. So if no matter how many times you fail, you would still do anything, and I mean anything, just to get 1% better. We know exactly how you feel.
Welcome back to the PWBA Cleveland Open Stepladder Finals here on Bowl TV. I teased a giveaway which is officially underway. If you are watching in full screen mode, make sure you get out of that. You should see submit entry right now. It should be on your screen. It is a Storm bowling ball of choice. Well, I shouldn't say of choice. It's a Storm bowling ball. I cannot tell you if you have the choice of what you will win. But they will get you a Storm bowling ball, of course. You know the drill by now. You got a few seconds to get in. Again, click submit entry. Click submit entry. And congratulations to Michael. Michael, you got yourself a Storm bowling ball. We will have a couple more giveaways courtesy of Brunswick and Hammer. Again, thank you, Storm. Proud PWBA Gold partner. What you're watching now, of course, a couple of shots for our top 2 seeds who do get a couple on each lane in between. And then we'll have the opportunity to watch Crystal Elliott here. That's a good question. If there's multiple Michaels, it's just the Michael that did not have a last name. Either way, the Michael that did win is going to receive an email from the Bowl TV marketing team. Give it about a week or two. So 7 to 14 business days for them to reach out to you. It will be via email, FYI. It will be via email in regards to the communication. So again, congratulations, Michael. We've got 2 more bowling ball giveaways. One after the next 2 matches. Watching Kamarowski, watching Zavala. Sid, you mentioned Stephanie's game plan just in regards to the practice portion. Can you repeat what she talked about on the pair specifically? That's an interesting lead.
It is. Yeah, she talked about wanting to throw urethane, and I also saw her throw plastic during the warm-up, and she wanted to throw it left of essentially where she wanted her ball to go around down lane. It was to give her hold, but she was going to do that to play offense. She felt like it was going to make the lanes better for her in the long run, the more that she developed the hold more quickly. Plays into the idea that her ball reaction got really, really good around games 3, 4, 5, 6, depending on if it was match play or the regular qualifying. It's just going to help her develop the lanes faster.
Of course, there was a few shots of urethane, obviously, going down the lane. We'll tell that story in a little bit more detail, of course, when we see Olivia Kamarowski. If you're Crystal Elliott now, Sydney, and you've watched Kelly Kulick, obviously not similar styles, but in regards to left-right, there is some similarities, but obviously Crystal's going to throw it much harder. In fact, she's going to be around the same ball speed as Dasha in that sense. Where or is there a favorable area to play based on what we watched in this opening match, which obviously was lower scoring?
My opinion comes more from the strategy of Stephanie Zavala than it does the first match. I think if Crystal is paying attention, and I'm sure that she is, I also know her ball reps are going to be paying attention because they're also helping Stephanie. Using that hold rather than playing against it is going to be very important. And for Crystal, she's great at going left to right, so she might as well play into that. She doesn't need to play Dasha's game. The pattern doesn't make you play straighter by any means.
Crystal is the higher seed, of course, the number 3 seed. If you're joining us late, Dasha Kovalova defeated Kelly Kulick 193 to 147. Crystal has choice on who starts.
Here we go, our second match of the evening. Elliott versus Kovaleova. Who advances to the semifinals? Down momentarily. Let's give these ladies a huge round of applause. Looks like Crystal's going to get us started.
Crystal has elected to start the match in the left lane. Curious as we'll find out which lane maybe she believes is not the most favorable for her in particular. All right, good shot. Got to the pocket, 10-pin.
Yeah, that's the start you want to have, especially after watching Kelly, particularly that first match. You want to see your ball shape when it gets down lane. Feel good about where we're sliding.
All right, good opening frame for Crystal Elliott. And now back to Dasha. This is the ball that we saw Dasha try at the end of game number 1 or match number 1. She's going to keep it in hand. Much better results to start. There's a good look.
That's a bit further left for Dasha than she was with her effector. That's a 3D offset assault. core is just a little bit stronger than the effector. Cover is just a tad bit stronger as well. But it is a smaller asymmetric. So basically, when we used to have weight holes, if you took a symmetric bowling ball and you put a weight hole kind of near your thumb, that's what you were creating. Very similar, just makes it hook a tad bit sooner than if it didn't have that quote-unquote weight hole or or actually asymmetry.
Left lane shot here, just a little lazy 10. You'll watch it deflect. She looks to have, just off the top, much better command of the 1-3 with this bowling ball. Oh, Crystal Elliott, last year's Rookie of the Year, had just a dynamite season, and for some it was certainly expected. The native of Palm Bay cashed in all 11 events she entered last year, and boy, that one got going pretty quick. And again, we might as well put a patent at this point on 2 pin-like combinations that result in splits.
Yeah, that one just gets right really early. Can't quite make it back up the hill. Good thing is this one's makeable. You know how easily it is to leave a 2-8-10.
Made 2 singles shows last year. The opening event, the season opener, in fact. Twin Cities Open, bounce, nope. Where she finished 5th. Also finished 5th at the Greater Detroit Open. Lost a very interesting and heartbreaking-like match. Had everything you needed against Ashley Galante. The bottom of your screen scrolling there, other finishers from match play. Again, 16 players advanced after 12 games of qualifying yesterday. 1 8-game round-robin match play block this morning. Another one this afternoon. Alexis Ruck, who finished 6th, just missed it. 36 pins. Julia Bond finished 7th. CT Raman 8th. Rocio Restrepo 9th. Elisa Hiltonen finished 10th. Crystal. And another 10 pin. Galante finished 11th. Esther Chia 12th. There's a look.
Overall, this is a great shot. Ball goes a bit too long and is forward down lane. Comes in behind the head pin. Flat 10.
Finish up in the finishers here. Jillian Martin finished 13th. Deandra Asbetti 14th. Nora Norkamal of Malaysia 15th. Fania Kobo finished 16th.
A look at the trophy. Flowers, bouquet of flowers, a nice touch. Presented by Yorktown Lanes. The centers do get to pick their trophies, so they are unique to each and every one of them.
Oh. 6 kind of takes out the 10 at the bottom there. Watch the pin action.
I like this ball reaction much more than what she had with her effector. And when I talked to her about bowling balls before we started, she didn't actually mention this one. The only other one she mentioned was a bigger ASIM bowling ball. She said it was awful. It just wasn't for this pattern, so she wasn't going to try it again. But I asked her, you going to think about anything else? No. But we see how things can change.
Can someone double? Well, I'm still light here on the left lane, 2-8.
She got around that one a bit more than her shots previously. That's going to make the ball go longer. Not pick up as soon.
Off in the distance. You hear the ball starting to go down the lane. The warm-up pair is on. Olivia Kamarowski from her Wichita State Shocker alum. Number 2 seed making her first show. 2-8 Kovaleova did not like it, but that had plenty of juice down lane. Dasha clean through 4. And again, so far, Sid, obviously the person who can command the pocket the best at this point. Right? And we've seen step ladders like this before. They start lower scoring, they end up high scoring. Or they start high scoring, they end up low scoring. You still anticipate someone's probably going to win with 230 at some point. 4-pin. You just see the wheels turning.
Yeah, she's thinking. That's her thinking face, that's for sure.
Again, this 39-foot pattern. First event of the week. 3 events here at Yorktown Lanes, the Cleveland Summer Series. Tomorrow begins the Bowl TV Open. New event, new pattern. 47 feet is the challenge beginning tomorrow. And the Rock and Roll Open will close this out later in the week.
Interesting note about Crystal, something she does differently than most women on tour. She just chooses to throw urethane at her spares. She did toy back and forth with throwing urethane for first shots throughout the week. She did drill another pitch black, so that way she wouldn't have to throw the same one at spares that she was throwing for her first balls. This is a ball change for Crystal as well. She was throwing a phase 2, made a switch to an Ion Pro. Will be a bit quicker down lane. So how the phase 2 was slow, rounded, coming in behind the head pin. This one could give her a more violent reaction down lane and a better result at the pins.
Ball change. Oh, all 10 back.
She did throw that same ball on the right lane, to be clear, the one that she 4-pinned with. But last time on that left lane, she threw a phase 2.
Best shot of the match perhaps for either competitor, but it's Kovaleova with the lead. Dasha's like the right lane, and she got that one right. Stop me if you've heard me say 210 before.
No doubt, that one just too far to the right. We all know the rule of 31. However long a pattern is, you subtract 31. That's about where your break point should be. Here that would say 8. Pattern's 39 feet in length.
Give it a run. First open now for Kovaleova. And Crystal Elliott perhaps chomping at the bit here, especially after striking after a ball change. Again, Dasha shot 257 in the final game position round to move in front of Alexis Runk and claim the 5th and final spot here on the show. Great shot there. That one looked like it was going to be all 10 down.
Yeah. Unfortunately, in bowling, no one's ever averaged 300. Because no matter how good you throw it, every once in a while you're going to wrap 10. centimeters away from being perfect.
Mama Oksana is in the building. She's been traveling with Dasha, along with, of course, Ashley Galante. They are two roommates, great friends. Ashley's dad often in the building as well. He is. All right, can Crystal find a way to double here? Look. Sid, if the players could kind of rethink or redo how they wanted to break the lanes down, or at least attempt to during their practice prior to the start of the match, you think they would do anything differently based on the results now that have taken place with regard to the 2-8, 2-8-10, two-pin like combinations?
If I put my coaching hat on, yes.
Look out. Wow.
If I'm a competitor, probably not. You know, you're doing what you think is best for you in that moment. I don't think they would regret anything or do it any differently. If I put my coaching hat on, my brain is screaming, why didn't we chalk a ball and throw it to the right and let it run over the 4-7 for like 5 or 6 minutes? Let's just create some hook. Why not? You know, want to create a space to throw through. I would have tried it on those practice pairs down there first to make sure it would work. But after you have proven that a strategy will work, you just bring it down here. Theoretically, the only person it would have possibly hurt is Olivia.
That one was out the window from the start. Washout 1-2-10 from the 2024 PWBA Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, this pattern almost feels... I remember the year that the World 10-Pin Association made Beijing go from 36 feet to 39. They used it at the World Championship in 2017. And then we used it at team trials in 2018. And it was the 5th day.
Nicely done.
Version. It was the 5th day of qualifying. And that felt like torture because it was so difficult. It played so flat. Even though it wasn't perfectly flat, it played so flat that even when you thought you were throwing it great, you would have bad results. And I think that's a bit of what's happening here. And the girls have to not allow the results of what's happening to trick them.
Back to Dasha. Great shot, all 10 down. Still no doubles, but the possibility now again exists for Kovaleova. Good entry, good continuation on this piece of equipment here for Dash.
Yeah, much better choice. It's just a slightly bigger option than her Effector. I think it makes a lot of sense. And to be clear, what I mean by it can't let them trick them, not trick them into making a change, but trick them into thinking they're throwing it bad. Sometimes when you have bad results over and over and over again, you can think, oh, it's me. Especially women, we tend to be perfectionists and blame it on us. They have to get outside of that and just say the lane is asking for something different.
Dasha looking for her first title since 2022. She won the Pepsi Classic in Dallas. Bang. That was a Dasha-like shot right there.
I leaned back in my chair a little bit because that one was left. I'm not going to say what we haven't seen yet, but it's not great because it usually results in a red circle. But that one held, pushed.
That's really a great point because we saw a lot of duck hooking when balls have mislept all day long. Now to Crystal, read it. Oof, great shot there, 10-pin. And now as we get later into this one, two really good shots from Dasha. Now Crystal throws a great shot, wraps 10.
We've seen Kelly do it a lot throughout the last 3 weeks when she comes back and she's like, oh, just this close, so close. That's that shot from Crystal, the wrap 10 from Dasha.
Crystal had a phenomenal collegiate career, which began at Nebraska, graduate transfer on to Jacksonville State. Won a national championship at each location, Nebraska and Jacksonville State respectively. 3-time NTCA First Team All-American, 2021 Division I Player of the Year. Also was the NCAA Bowling Championship's Most Outstanding Player in 2021. 300 game last year at the USBC Open Championships. She won the U.S. Amateur Championship in 2024. And then took home the Team USA Trials title earlier in the year. Decorated resume. And she's just getting started, but needs one here and has it. 9th frame of beauty for Crystal.
Convincing shot here from Crystal. She knew it.
Max score for Elliott is 202. Max for Dasha at this point, 227. Oh, the 8-pin thought about it. And what a ball change here for Dasha.
Yeah, it's beautiful because she doesn't have to be perfect. I feel like every other person we've seen throw bowling balls down the lane so far, if they don't hit the exact right spot down lane, you're questioning if they're going to 210 or not. Is that ball going too long? We've asked it a million times. How many times have you said 210, you know, in 1.9 games? A lot. And so it's great that her ball is slowing down just a bit sooner than her effector was.
Dasha needs a mark here. It's on the lane. Oh, and there it is. Dasha Kovaleova. What a shot to clinch. A well-bowled game here for Kovaleova, which began with a ball change, something she tried at the end of her first match. Crystal just couldn't get going early. She will try something else here. Just to give it a look, Jason Wojner. Working with Dosh, representing Team Brunswick.
Dasha did try a Black Widow Mania. Big core, clean cover, asymmetric.
Nice job by Dasha. Looking to run the ladder tonight for title number 6. She shoots 216. Crystal Elliott, another show for the second-year player. It's not a matter of if, it's certainly just a matter of when for Crystal Elliott. But here, at least for the first event in the Cleveland Open, here at the Summer Series, will not be here this week. But we've seen players kind of get off to good starts and hot starts in a particular Classic Series. Certainly doesn't mean that we may not see Crystal here in a stepladder final once again this week.
I definitely think we could. You know, she bowled her way onto Junior Team USA for the very first time in this building. She was 4th at Junior Gold in 2017 to bowl her way onto Junior Team USA in 2018. She felt like she just had good energy coming into this building. She said that the blue gutters are iconic and there are good vibes. So I'm not sure it's the last time we'll see her in a stepladder final this week with 2 more events to go.
Big shout out to Coach Tom and Mom Denise
Ladies and gentlemen,
or Crystal watching at home.
fourth place finisher, Miss Crystal Elliott.
Crystal will finish 4th here tonight.
Seeds will come over for some warm-up shots here on the championship pair. And next up, we will have Kovaleova
There is a look
versus
at Olivia Kamarowski, making her first career championship round appearance. She will face Dasha Kovalova, a match, of course, against former Wichita State Shockers. But before we can get to that, we've got another bowling ball giveaway that is on the way next. Again, it's a Brunswick bowling ball this time around. Make sure you head on out of full screen mode. You should do that again right now. Get out of full screen mode. I know some of you said you didn't see the lower third prompt, so we'll give you an extra few seconds. But first, a word from Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the United States Bowling Congress and the PWBA. Semifinals next. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Emil Williams Jr., Sidney Brummett here with you. Mike Flanagan on the 1s and 2s. Spencer Mosier giving us our down lane looks from behind the camera. Curtis Von Kruger, Caleb Smiley here as well. It is time for our next giveaway. It's a Brunswick bowling ball. That giveaway now officially underway. So you should see the lower third prompts. Again, you should see the lower third prompts here. The first one is just a countdown that lets you know that the giveaway is about to begin. The second one will then tell you to submit your entry, which will officially enter you into the Bowl TV giveaway. Again, a Brunswick bowling ball. Brunswick, another proud PWBA gold partner. Again, big thanks to Brunswick, the leader in bowling balls, shoes, equipment, and apparel. Again, find out the latest products, promotions, and news from Brunswick and shop online at brunswickbowling.com or through your local pro shop today. Everyone seeing what they need to see, the lower third prompts? It looks like my guy Dave Kloss is watching. Part of that Brunswick team. We appreciate you, Dave, and the entire crew. With that said, the bottom right, or I'm sorry, bottom of your screen, again, the other finishers here that did not make the show. Quick look at Zavala again. She is your #1 seed. She is celebrating her 29th birthday. Make sure you submit entry. 2 things can be true. You can win on your birthday. You can also win from the #1 seed. Zavala has both of those items checked off in previous events. He's trying to combine them both here today in Cleveland. But first and foremost, we take a look at Olivia Kamarowski. Congratulations to Rich Gargas. Rich, you got yourself a Brunswick bowling ball. Just FYI, Rich, if you don't need that bowling ball, I could use it. So if you want to reach out and donate it to me, I'm just playing. Congratulations, Rich. Bowl well, high scores, and thank you again to Brunswick. We will have one more bowling ball. It will be courtesy of Hammer, and we will give that one away at the conclusion of our semifinal match. And now, the storyline that was building yesterday after round 1 of qualifying, Sidney Brummett, Olivia Kamarowski, who exclusively has used a purple hammer. She's thrown urethane every single game of this tournament to this point, but almost didn't throw it because it didn't look that good for her in practice. And so, of course, on a whim, so to speak, right, decides to kind of give it a look early. What could happen? What's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen is she went plus 174 and was tied for second after round 1, was 6th after round 2, and then stayed the course throughout the day. 8 games of match play this morning, 8 games, of course, in the afternoon. And Olivia making her first championship round appearance the athletic trainer, a Wichita State alum, has an opportunity to win her first PWBA national championship here tonight. But first, she's got to deal with Dasha Kovalova. There's a little bit of a delay, of course, in regards to the blackout on 24. But what you see, folks, is what Olivia has done literally the entire tournament.
Yeah, guys, Mike here with you guys. Wanted to just take a second here and talk to you both a little bit about the scoring pace that we've seen here tonight. A 193 and a 216 so far, winning matches. 193, 216. The thing that we know about Olivia and how she's been bowling here over the last couple of days is the fact that she has kept the ball in play. She has had some big scores. We saw it early in qualifying. She is capable of bowling a big score, but with the scoring pace here tonight, with her keeping it around the pocket with this purple hammer, I think this kind of feeds right into what she's looking for. We haven't had big score from Reactive Resin covering boards here tonight. The lanes are playing very, very tight, very, very hard, and I think that that gives her a little bit more of a comfortableness on this championship pair. Would you guys agree?
Oh, without question. I think, I mean, from a strategy perspective, and we talked about this earlier, when things started to get a little tough, she was the one where it wasn't about what bowling ball she might have to go to, because she knows what's been working, and she trusted it to remain in a good spot. And, of course, that's exactly what happened. And when she needed it most, right, she was good in the middle of the block. And, of course, in position round, she bowled the best game of the tournament for her, and, of course, in the position round, and moved in front of 2 players. And she has elected to have Dasha Kovalova start. Dasha sending pins. Well, I'll tell you, as good as Olivia has been with this particular piece of equipment, which was the 3D offset assault.
Yes.
The command of the pocket has been owned by Dasha. Now, we anticipate Olivia to have that same command because she's had command of it the entire tournament.
No doubt.
Nice opening shot for Olivia.
It's a great start for her. You want to get out of the gates. You want to get running, right? You want to come up strong in your first match for a title. Number 2 seed.
Kamarowski, 25 years old. It's a good break there. That could have been a couple of things, but it's just an A-pin.
Yeah, that one should try to shape a bit more than the one on the right lane. She will choose to go straight at this.
It's good, clean opening 2 frames there, especially for someone who, in the first time in this position, Sydney really described it well. And I'll have Sid talk about that again here, but first Kovalova. And a 4-pin. is there an advantage in this match, Sid, to either player? Knowing that now Dasha's in match number 3 for her, assume feeling at least somewhat comfortable after making a very good ball change and having an understanding, and getting to the 1-3. Now, even though Olivia in a position where she's unfamiliar, but as you said earlier, right, she just feels like she's just bowling.
Yeah. I think you still have to give the advantage to Dasha. There's so much that comes with experience. You have to lend the hand to. I mean, I don't know. I think it's like when we talk about, Danielle. Sometimes we forget she has 9 titles. Sometimes I think we forget Dasha has 5.
And looking for number 6. And you saw that one creeping wide, 2-8-10. She was pretty good about staying away from those for the most part in match number 2 against Crystal Elliott.
Yeah, every time she gets around it too much, wants to go too long, it gets too far right down lane.
Oh, no. No count there for Dasha. Let's see. Well, look at this ball. How much of the hook is it?
I mean, it hooked quite a bit, but it was so offline from the beginning. She looked at her hand both after the first shot and the second. Makes me wonder if maybe she tore her hand, something happened to it. I mean, these women just bowled 12 games of qualifying and then 16 games of round-robin match play. This is a lot of bowling in one day.
And Kamarowski, good view here. Yeah. All right, no 7-10, just the 7-pin. Olivia got a ton of family, of course, watching. Grandma Judy. Shout out to Andrew, the BF. Parents Jean and Brian. We see Dad around as well as Mom. Some other friends here as well. Good friend Madison Janak. Spent a lot of time in the trenches on the team together. She is right here in the stands to our right. Another quality frame. Lincoln, when you talk about just strategy, I mean, this is what you got from Olivia Kamarowski. It could completely change tomorrow, right? New tournament, new lane pattern. But for 12 games yesterday and 16 games today, Olivia Kamarowski was good enough to finish second here and be the number 2 seed after all was said and done, have an opportunity and staying in a piece of equipment that we saw players use, but no one exclusively used it like she did. That one was left from the start, and the first sign of trouble here for Olivia.
Yeah, that's what's hard about urethane is when it doesn't quite shape the way you want it to, a couple times in a row, you try to make it hook. And then usually it's left, it gets up the lane. And as we know on this 39-foot pattern, up the lane isn't the greatest.
She will take one, the Oshkosh, Wisconsin native. And I know Wisconsin, the Wisconsin bowling community, always strong, and I'm sure many of those folks watching here as well. Kamarowski, a young player, didn't bowl a ton when she got out of school after Wichita State, but bowled a fair share of events last year as we watch Kovaleova set up here. That left foot in front of the right, holds the ball a little low. Gets it going on the lane. And that's high as well, Sid. 6-pin.
Yeah, I have a bit of intuition that we're seeing some transition, not necessarily from Olivia, but from the practice that happened before this match. Dasha did not get any practice shots in between the matches, pardon me, but Stephanie Zavala did. And she wasn't throwing urethane, she wasn't throwing plastic to create hold, she was throwing reactive. And she was shaping it quite a bit. So every shot that she threw down the lane was creating transition for Dasha. It looks like she's in about the same part of the lane as she was at the end of last match, which after the practice from Stephanie probably puts her behind the move.
Top seed Stephanie Zavala awaiting the winner of this match as Dasha has a quick convo with Jason. Off to the right there, the bouquet of flowers, the trophy. Going to the winner of the PWBA Cleveland Open. It looks like every 2 years has been the pattern for a national stop here at Yorktown Lanes. We've also had regional titles and events contested in this facility. Kovaleova trying to get back on it. Through the nose and again breaks down trouble just a single pin.
Yeah, fortunate leave here for Dasha. It's very similar. It's just that the ball's picking up sooner. Lane's transitioning. Could afford to make a move to the left.
This will be the fourth winner. Again, in 2019, Josie Barnes defeated Sherry Tan in a thriller. Stephanie Zavala took home the title again at the Cleveland Open in 2021. Jordan Snodgrass was the last player to win a national title here in 2023, again hosted by Yorktown Lanes. Jordan just missed the number to advance to match play. Kamarowski, read it, read it, read it, gets out of trouble.
This will be an interesting spare here for Olivia.
Yeah, interesting how we shoot these at this point. But again, she's been doing it. Oh, that's got to hook a ton. Oh, my goodness. It's the right of the 2-pin off the sidewall. We got ourselves a match here, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was a well-timed sneeze right there. It would have been incidental or accidental, but it happened right as the ball was let go by Kamarowski. She throws one of her best shots. Now back to Kovaleova. 1-pin match. That should be good. Oh, wow. Wow. And all of a sudden, we talked about Dasha having control of the 1-3 sit, but it looks like either a miss left or she's kind of starting to inch left. Open up that angle ever so slightly.
Yeah, it was a mistake that a lot of us made. It was, I'm going to move a 2 and 1, or I'm going to move a little bit. And it's like, no. It needs to be bigger moves, larger angles, because the more you move into the middle part of this pattern, the flatter it is. And when a pattern is flat like that with tons of buff structure at the end, which means that there's really only applied oil to 27 feet, and then it's all buff after that, you have to create shape through the front part of the lane to have any chance of your ball holding. Pretty much if you're throwing reactive.
Gosh, had to have it. Keeps things very honest here, but Kamarowski will step up with an opportunity to double. Good look.
It's a great shot from Dasha. That's about 2 to 3 further left at the arrows than what we saw on the right lane.
It is winning time now for Olivia Kamarowski. 25 years old, can throw in the purple hammer, 500 grit. Interesting though, right? We've got a couple players who just weren't really feeling bowling, or where they felt or fit, I should say, kind of inside the sport at the moment. Chance to double. Didn't miss it.
I loved that one off of her hand. She tried to shape it less. What's hard about urethane, and for people who don't throw it a ton, is you have to be okay with your ball hooking early. The minute that you try to shape it and your rev rate starts with a 2 or a 3, it gets a bit skeptical. But that was great. It was much more in front of her. But yeah, Liv told me, she said, I wasn't feeling great after Topeka. And she skipped the Queens for her graduation, for her master's degree. And she was really proud of that, wanted to celebrate it. She worked really hard for it. And then she was questioning, like, she said exactly that Rick talked her off the ledge. Like, should I be here? Should I not? Should I try? Should I not? She said the call with him was about an hour and a half.
Well, it may have resulted in strikes like that. Kamarowski now the first to notch 3 in a row. Rick who, by the way?
Rick Steelsmith.
Thank you.
My apologies. I'm staring at 2 former shockers in themselves.
Well, I was going to say Rick Barbera.
I'm sorry. Not the Godfather,
I feel
no.
like Rick would say he would give that type of advice as well.
No. But she said it's all mental. She's just in a space of, like, I don't really know. Don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing out here. And I had what's crazy is I had that exact same conversation with a 5-time titleist. How much that hooked. A 5-time titleist in Dasha 3 weeks ago as well, where we were sharing our own stories of just, am I good enough to be out here anymore? I don't know.
Well, that was unfortunately the worst shot for Dasha there at the worst possible time. Looks right down at the hand there. It looked like that one just got off quick. But those were shots that we saw not just from Dasha, but in that part of the lane. If that was the miss left, folks, this week on, or I should say the first 2 days, specifically on this pattern of the Cleveland Open, it was going dead left. Not the easiest of spares here. 1-3-6, handled.
I heard some great advice last week from a really smart human. They were with us on tour last week, and they just said, you have to focus on lane play before you can focus on ball motion. And I wish that I could just transport that into Dasha right now. We're just not playing the lanes the way that they want to be played. They want more angle. They want me to be a bit further left. They want me to shape it more. And then you choose the bowling ball that does that well. But we can't worry about how our ball is going through the pins until we are playing the lanes correctly. Cannot have it the opposite way.
9th frame. And a 10-pin. Kamarowski starting to feel it here. Max score for Dasha now is 191.
It's a better shot from Dasha. Much more angle through the front part of the lane than that of the right.
Strike here from Kamarowski, and all but locks it up. Get up the hill. And the wiggle on the 7, so 2, 4, 5, 7.
It's firm and to the right. That 7 pin is offset to the left a bit. If the pin is offset because the pins themselves moved it, you cannot ask for a respot. If your pins are picked up and set back down and they're not set correctly, you can. I know Kelly referenced that in the Queen show just last week.
Extremely choppable. Going straight at it. It's going right and has it. Well, you talk about a spare in a 9th frame scenario. Would have had the lead nonetheless, but she would have had to guarantee a double, if you will, in the 10th frame. And now Kovaleova, max score just 191 for Dasha. Needs a mark here. Anything less than the mark, and Dasha will have a chance to win. Kamarowski to advance. Oh, the light mixer falls for Olivia. And now just 2 pins and 2 shots, and Kamarowski is about to bowl Stephanie Zavala for her first career PWBA title.
That amount of excitement that I saw was about the level of excitement during our interview before we started. She was so chill. I was asking her, like, how does it feel to make your first show? Oh, good. I don't really feel like I made it. I'm just bowling. And I shared with her that almost every interview I've had the opportunity to be a part of that involved a Hall of Famer, their answer was the same as the one she gave. And they're just like, I'm just bowling. You know, it feels great, but I just got to bowl another match. You know, or even Josie last week. Josie said, I just want to enjoy it. And super similar answer from Olivia. So I have to think she's in a great headspace to have an opportunity to beat Stephanie Zavala. But I do have to give the upper hand to Stephanie. And the sole reason is because when I looked at her and asked her about the show, she said, I'm going to win. You know, that level of confidence. Not unprecedented. I'm sure there's been somebody that has had that before, but I haven't heard anybody say it out loud in my time on tour.
195 official final tally for Olivia Kamarowski. 6th title not to be for Dasha. That Greek church was important because it did cause a conversation to at least happen between Olivia, of course, and her ball rep, Jason Wojner. So they chatted. She went to throw the fill shot. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Meanwhile, Dasha to close it out. She made the great ball change. She tried this ball late after the match had been wrapped up with Kelly Kulick. So late in game 1, looked really good in game 2. She shot 216. It started to look okay, or still looked okay, I should say. But then all of a sudden, Single pin, single pin. There were some shots that she broke down splits into single pins, and things just kind of got away from Dasha a little bit.
Yeah, there are times where you get good breaks, and it tricks you into thinking I'm close.
It's a good tournament for Dasha, especially all things considered, where she is mentally, what she had to do just to make the show. I talked about it earlier about game 5 or so. She was firmly in the mix, pushed all the chips in, hit the all-in button, shot 257 to make the show, and overall a very, very good third-place finish for Kovaleova. But now, folks, the stage is set. The championship match has its 2 competitors. The top seed, Stephanie Zavala of Downey, California, celebrating her 29th birthday, equipped with balloons and all earlier this afternoon. And now the young player, Olivia Kamarowski, the number 2 seed. 1 versus 2, a champion will be crowned. The first event of the summer series here in Cleveland. But first, a word from Lane Talk, followed by the final bowling ball giveaway of the evening. The championship match is next here on Bowl TV.
Got some exciting news.
We now have a pro subscription
for bowlers who really want to take their game to the next level.
The biggest thing, you can tag and label each game.
Whenever you use a ball, whatever oil pattern that you're on,
You can now track the ball's performance and compare balls side by side.
it is incredibly powerful and it is going to help you analyze your game.
Boom! Try Lane Talk Pro free for 1 month. Upgrading the app, and we'll see you on Lane.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as mentioned, the final bowling ball giveaway, it is here, and it is courtesy of Hammer. Hammer bowling ball giveaway. Again, get out of full screen mode if you are watching in full screen so you can see the lower third prompts. Again, get out of full screen mode so you can see the lower third prompts. First countdown simply will tell you that a giveaway is on its way. Once you see submit entry, which will be the essentially next countdown, that's what you want to do. Simply click submit entry. That's all you have to do to be eligible. Again, submit entry. That is all you have to do to be eligible. Stephanie Zavala had a different game plan to start round 2 of match play, and this bowling ball was involved.
Yeah, it wasn't even in the building, actually. It was in the car with 5 minutes left of the range this afternoon. And Chris, her husband, was like, hey, I got an idea. Ran out there, brought it in. She tried it, loved it. Leads the event.
I mean, we talked about the lack of success on the fresh in the morning block, and so it was clear that she would have had to change something to get off to a much better start as opposed to having to chase it down, which she enjoys, and because she can strike a ton, as we all know. Submit that entry, folks, by the way. Hammer bowling ball on the line. Is it still, just for confirmation purposes, is it still the Sublime Focus, which is what it was this morning?
Yes, it is the same. It's very shiny.
Congratulations to Drew. You've got yourself a Hammer bowling ball. Again, same situation applies to you, Drew. Be on the lookout. Be constantly checking your emails. Within the next 2 weeks, you should see something from the marketing squad, Bowl TV. And then they will get all of the details, of course, so you can get your bowling ball and your wonderful prize. We appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you for watching the PWBA. Sid, what type of score do you think Olivia has to have here to truly feel like she's got a chance, knowing that Zavala can strike with the best, and anticipate Stephanie to somehow get to 220, which no one has done so far on the step ladder?
Yeah, I would. Gosh, To be safe, I would say 225. You know, I'm looking at Stephanie's match play for this second block when she had the renewed strategy, ignoring the first game because we're past that part of transition, right? She had 200, 210, 221, 266, 163. We're hanging out with all the practice shots around this 260, 163, 220 mark at the end of her rounds of match play. And so it's either going to be really great or have a bit of a struggle. I don't think we're going to have that in the middle from Stephanie.
And if you're Olivia, we already know where she's going to be on the lane. Does urethane and the usage of it affect Stephanie at all, Sydney?
No, because she's so far away from Stephanie, and it might help her in a way to create some hold down lane. She was doing it for herself in the initial 10 minutes of practice at the very beginning before we even started our step ladder. It's really Olivia's just doing that more for her, so it could help her, potentially.
Stephanie got a look at, can't say it was urethane, it could have been a level.
It was a physics blackout.
Physics blackout, thank you. Well, that ball just gives her the most amount of miss room. At least it looks like here on the surface.
Yeah, her team back here, she's got 2 ball reps, Joey K, Rob Gottschall, and then her husband, Chris. She talked to me before this about how well they've learned to work together, how important it is that they all communicate well. But it looks like they're waffling a bit between the physics blackout and the sublime focus. So it'll be interesting to see which one she starts with.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, Yorktown, here we go. Our championship match, Zavala versus Kamarowski. This is where Zavala won her first title, and Kamarowski is trying to do the same. Who's going to walk away with the first title of the week, the PWBA Cleveland Open? Let's give these ladies a huge round of applause right here. 10 grand on the line. Who's going to take it away?
No big surprise here. Stephanie's going to choose to start on the left lane. And she is going to choose that physics blackout.
Opening shot for the 5-time titleist. And trouble. Felt like there was a lot of build up there, and especially after watching what just happened in practice. That one's left, and that's been the result for balls that have been missed left.
Yeah, the launch angle was just too shallow. Not enough left to right in the front part of the lane to give her an opportunity to hit the 1-3.
Stephanie would try to get the count here. And the early open allow Olivia to step out and try to take the early lead here. In both 6 events in 2023, did not cash 10 events in 2024. And cashed twice, did advance to match play once. Speaking of Olivia, making her first career championship round appearance. Great opening shot. I got to tell you, Sid, in some ways to me, because we know exactly what we're going to get from Olivia Kamarowski, all the pressure here feels like it's on Stephanie Zavala.
And I think some people would think you're crazy to say that. Like if they're just tuning in tonight and they haven't watched the body of the event and how Olivia got here, if she's confident in what she's seeing, I'm not sure it's good for everybody else that she's gotten 2 matches on this pair of lanes. It could be the best thing that's happened to her to not be the #1 seed tonight.
Second shot, the wiggle, 2-8. What's the key for Olivia? Because we've seen the 2-8. We've seen that from multiple players here in the step ladder, but specifically for her, right? Because that shot on the right lane, obviously great. Is it early miss down lane? Is it just didn't quite catch it? And obviously you can tell which one is just the complete miss left. What's the key for her to keep it online?
She just has to commit to rolling it through the target instead of trying to shape it. She has to be so okay with it hooking early because at this point it's just going to. And to be clear with urethane, that's the whole point. It's why we throw it. We want it to hook early. We want it to hook early, get online, and then just slowly migrate into the pocket. It gives you consistent ball reaction. It's why it's become such an incredible tool for players over the last few years. We see it thrown all the time. It's not because it's magical. It's because it gives you consistent ball reaction. You know what you're going to get. People who are bowling for a living, we love that. We love knowing what we're going to get out of a bowling ball.
Zavala, I think she knows what she's going to get from the sublime focus. She's making the change right now. Second shot. 9-pin falls late. I think she saw the motion that she was expecting.
It's a great shot. I'm interested to see if we're throwing 2 different bowling balls. You know, these 2 lanes have not been the same. We are throwing 2 different bowling balls. Sublime focus on that right lane. Physics blackout on the left.
NASCAR Dale Earnhardt inspired jersey look on her 29th birthday. Hello to mom and dad. The Zavala family watching at home. Dad got off work early, left work early, so he could be home to watch tonight. That's got to push. 3-6 here for Zavala, and so far this left lane missing early. The run for Zavala today, as we described, she went 7-1 during the afternoon block round robin match play. Started with 257. We watched that. She went 257, 200, 210, 221, 266 before she took her first loss. All right, spare converted. 11-5 match play record, same match play record that Olivia Kamarowski had as well. Here is Olivia. Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Maybe. Out of trouble, 6-pin.
It's a good break. That one miss left up the lane the entire way. Fortunate to leave a single pin. In the words of Norm Duke, this is something I can make. That's what we're thinking right now.
Looks unfazed in her first championship round appearance. Again, just bowling, as she said. Part of the process. Good spare, Sid. We opened up competition yesterday. You know, I talked to Mike, talked to, I think Curtis joined us during the practice session. And I mentioned it again this afternoon, how weeks like this, where we have the 3 event weeks, Classic and or Summer Series, generally provide the opportunity to see new faces advance to, in this case, certainly their first career championship round appearances. There's a lot of variety, of course, in regards to oil patterns, and so you never know what's going to match up, which pattern's going to match up to which player in the field. And obviously Kamarowski, and with the urethane strategy, to stick with it. We've seen a new face, and that new face could win her first title here. 4th frame shot. Light mixer. It carries.
Olivia's taking a walk over to the left, grabbing her accessory bag. I believe I heard her say to her tour rep, Jason Wojner, just got to throw it better. Sometimes it is that simple. Sometimes you just miss. She is getting out a piece of tape.
Now back to Zavala. Well, I got to tell you, if I had to choose one of the bowling balls, for me, it would certainly be the Sublime Focus. And that's because we watched her open up round 2 this afternoon in a frenzy. And this ball did exactly what it just did this afternoon for a lot of frames.
And she is going to make that change to the Sublime Focus on the left lane.
You gotta be like Michael Jackson said, make that change, man in the mirror, and be messing around. Gonna make a difference. If she doubles here, this could be monumental. As you know, she may not be able to turn off the strike button, but it's still left. But right now, it doesn't matter what bowling ball she throws on the left lane. She cannot project it, or is not projecting it right.
It just won't let her get it to the right. Like, it has to be steeper. This is one of those times where you have to separate your feet and your eyes. What I mean by that is maybe move your feet to the left, move your eyes to the right, maybe a combination of both. I personally like the choice of the physics blackout on that left lane because it's going to feel like it gets through it more. She probably felt like it was too quick, but I don't think she was far enough left.
And some fairly difficult makeables and the chop. 2 opens, and again, you know what you're getting from Olivia. Kamarowski, slow and steady, as they say, wins the race. I'm not sure there's been a steadier player this week than Olivia. Looking to be the first player to double here in this match. Trouble.
What's interesting about the last 2 shots from Olivia, I would say this for any player out there that is bowling on this tour at a high level. She threw 2 shots that looked exactly the same. At that point, it's not you anymore. It's the lane. We have to make a change. So it could be hooking early, like earlier than she wants it to. So we may have to make a move, maybe throw it a little faster on that lane. But last time she got a break, only leaving the 6-spin. This time, unfortunate to leave the 4-6-7.
If you are joining us for the first time or you joined us late, our opening match featured Dasha Kovaleova and Kelly Kulick, 4-5. Kulick was the 4 seed, Dasha was the 5th seed. Dasha defeated Kelly 193 to 147. Kelly just couldn't get going. Late ball change just wasn't enough. Dasha made a ball change late. It resulted in a 216-189 victory over Crystal Elliott. And in the semifinals, Olivia Kamarowski defeated Dasha Kovalova 195-166. Championship match here. 10-pin advantage for Kamarowski. An even better break there, just leaving the 3-pin. So that one read very early here, Sid.
Yeah, it hooks early, and the struggle, she went through the same struggle in the middle, I believe, of the first block of match play. She makes the move with urethane into the track, and what's hard about that is we're bowling in a center that the panels are 33 years old. There's a lot of lineage in this center. They get bowled on a ton. They have great leagues, great open bowling. And so when you throw the ball in the track area, where most people play, somewhere between 8 and 12, when you lay it down there, and they already want to hook because the lane pattern makes it want to hook, and on top of that, so does the lane surface, it makes it more and more difficult to get your ball through the front part of the lane. And that's what she's running into here. She's moved into that track area. She has to find a way to either stay to the right of it by throwing it faster, or move left of it, throw it slower, so it will have time to shape down lane and give her an opportunity to strike.
Oh, with Kamarowski's, of course, reef struggles here. This could be just what Zavala needs. She's been good on the right lane and continues to be good. This is turning into the match. The first player to double might be the winner tonight.
Great shot there from Stephanie.
Stephanie now married. Her husband Chris. Again, 29 years of age. Birthday is today. 5-time titleist, excuse me. Won 3 of those during her rookie season, which was 2021. She took on the Rookie of the Year award. Reno Classic, BVL Open. Also won on her birthday, by the way, the BVL Open in 2021. And took home the Greater Cleveland Open in 2021 as well. 1 major title, tour championship. Oh, it's right. Oh, it's right. Great shot. Oh, that was vicious. Wow. That's. Sometimes you ask yourself, how didn't that carry? I'm asking myself that question right now.
It's not often that Stephanie's ball does not knock down 10 when she hits the pocket.
You see what the left lane looks like when she is able to project. Did she make the move, Sid, you think?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the minute I saw where she slid, I was nodding my head. I'm like, yeah, okay, there we go. I crossed with her for 12 games yesterday. I watched it a lot. It was awesome.
She's got the knack for striking. She's got it.
She told me we need to cross together all the time because usually when we do, she plays well. So she likes when we bowl together.
Max score for Zavala right now is 207. Still 227 available for Kamarowski. That drop shoulder there. Good form. Read it. Maybe 2-pin. Is Olivia stuck in a situation here, Sid?
Yes, and the problem is she has choices. And when you have choices, one of them is right and one of them is wrong. And it could just be that she made the wrong choice in that moment because you could throw it a bit faster. You could move left, slow down and rotate it more. She is stuck in urethane, right? She has, I think she threw 1 fill ball with reactive think it was the first round yesterday. It's been over 24 hours since she's thrown a reactive ball. It's going to be like, you know when somebody walks into the room and they turn on the light? It's been dark for a long time.
Yeah.
That's going to be her when she throws reactives tomorrow.
The adjustment.
Woo.
.216 max. Now for Olivia. Feels like this feels like a must strike. As Zavala is very close to doubling up. See if she can do that in frames 8 and 9, but first 8th frame Kamarowski. That could be good. Could be good. Oh no. 7-10. Wow, that's a really good look. Nice camera work there from Spencer.
Yeah, and that looked like a move to the left. Made a decision, saw her get up on the approach, and she got lined up and then moved her feet. Typically, that is a sign that somebody's deciding to make a pretty big jump.
Would love a favorable bounce here. Bowling ball actually blocked it from making its move toward the left side. Meanwhile, max score drops to 193 for Olivia. And the ball firmly into the hands of Stephanie Zavala. It is winning time, perhaps, for the 5-time champion. 8 players active, sitting on 5 titles. She could be the first to move to 6. She's perfect on the right lane. Bang, and still perfect.
No, I think she chose well. She had the opportunity as the higher seed to decide which lane to end this match on. She chose to start on the left lane, which means she will end on the right one.
This is an important double here. She can grab it, because if not, then she's still pacing in the 170s. Kamarowski in that same situation, but Kamarowski would then step up, possibly would have a chance to win. Ninth frame. It's got to move. It's got to move. Oh, the birthday girl got some carry. Happy birthday, Stephanie Zavala.
I was up the lane the whole way. Heard her husband say, "Oh no," I should let it go. Same thought went through my head.
When it's your day, perhaps it's your day. She's won on her birthday before at the BVL Open in 2021. She's won as the top seed, speaking of Zavala, right here in this building at Yorktown Lanes, also in 2021. Now Kamarowski got to step up in a different position. She's trying to apply pressure. Stay slow, said Wozner. It's left. Will she get the same break? And she will. Not over yet. Said if you could give Olivia some advice or just how to handle the breathing part right now in this 10th frame, what would you say?
Watch target. It's that simple. We're cut from the same cloth. So you know it's slide where you want to, hit the target. Everything else is out of your control.
Olivia. 4-7. That was closer.
That was a well-executed shot.
Board to spare here. Zavala will still have work to do in the 10th frame. Kamarowski strikes at 173. Important here. All right, she strikes on the fill for 173. 9 on the first shot in the 10th frame. And Stephanie Zavala won the first PWBA title, her first of 2025, in the 10th anniversary relaunch season on her birthday. You see the deep breaths. One shot for a championship. For a title. Indeed. The birthday girl, Stephanie Zavala, on her 29th birthday, has captured her 6th PWBA title. Six into the 10. $10,000 first place check tonight. A hard-fought championship victory against a quality opponent, Olivia Kamarowski, who was so good for so long. He got a couple of breaks, one key one certainly in the 9th frame. But Zavala, who turned it on, the 7-1 match play record in round number 2, made all the difference in capturing the number 1 seed.
How about the decision to get the Sublime Focus out of the car?
Indeed.
Pretty good one.
207. 173. Stephanie Zavala. 6-time champion now. And folks, she's won 6 titles since 2021. Talking about title counts and who could get there. She's already on the other side now, looking toward 10. Reeve Trophy presentation, of course. Hugs to the refs. A hug and the kiss to husband Chris. Congrats to the Zavala family, certainly watching from home. Congrats to the Kamarowski family as well. What a showing. Great friend Olivia Farwell. They've got putting together a lot of content on the respective YouTube channel. Zavala Zone.
Let's bring up our champ.
And now there's Jeremy, Aaron, Robin Graves.
We can finally take your picture down and put a newer one up. All right, we'll just keep stacking them up. Congratulations, what a grind. You need to get some rest, you got 2 more to go, so congratulations again.
All right, just gonna get a quick interview here with our champion and birthday girl, by the way. So, was title number 6 on the wish list today?
Absolutely. I looked at the schedule, I saw what day it fell on, and I planned it.
So you won your first title here in 2021. What is it about the center being in the city that makes you so comfortable here?
Yeah, I think it's just really the hospitality. I mean, you guys are amazing. You take really good care of us. I really appreciate that. It makes me feel right at home when I'm bowling in this house.
Title number 6. How does that feel?
I'm really tired, but it feels great.
Is there anyone that you would like to thank?
Okay, how much time do you guys have? Okay, first and foremost, shout out to my husband, and then Liv and my daughter Caitlin, also the ball reps. Okay, we got 900 Global, we got Del Rio Lane, Pro Approach Bowling, Kulick, Vice, and Relax the Back Organ.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 PWBA Cleveland Open champion is Stephanie Zavala. Thank you all for coming out. We have 2 more events. Tomorrow we start the PWBA Bowl TV Open, and that'll be followed by the PWBA Rock and Roll Open. A huge thank you again for Yorktown Lanes. Thank you all for coming out today. Hope to see you throughout the rest of the week and follow all the action along on Bowl TV.
Chris, Liv, Caitlin, coming. No. Yes.
Oh, yeah, well, selfie.
Hey, Jace.
Folks, we will have Stephanie Zavala here. A couple more photos. And we will have Stephanie for you here. What a moment. Sit while we wait, though. Yeah, it felt like if Kamarowski got off to a good start, of course she was going to be in the match, and she was going to be in the match no matter what based on the strategy. It was all about Zavala. Of course, the left lane was the troublesome one early. If she could have stayed out of trouble with regard to open frames and splits, it looked bleak from that perspective early. But, of course, as she does, she's such a really good closer, right? She's got the closing mentality, the closing gene, if you will. And it is unbelievable to have that type of knack, of course. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming your way shortly. Congratulations, Stephanie Zavala.
Thank you.
First, happy birthday.
Thank you. I hope you got a piece of the birthday cake before it went away.
I didn't even know you had it. I didn't even know you had birthday cake.
I have good people here. They brought me
Okay.
a cake.
All right, what kind is it?
It was vanilla funfetti.
Oh, I do need a piece of
It was
that.
so good.
Happy birthday again. Congratulations on this victory. We talked earlier, Sid and I, about your start in match play, especially round 1. Then apparently a bowling ball that was not even in the building is the one, of course, that brought you a 7-1 match play record and now a title, number 6 to be exact. Talk about the bowling ball strategy. Why was it important? What did that sublime focus give you that perhaps what else you had in the bag at that time did not?
Yeah, it was really just a matter of like trusting what we were seeing. It's really hard to like go away because I was bowling well. It wasn't like I was struggling. So to kind of just throw away a game plan and to try something completely different, that just shows how much like trust I have in my team. But it's a bigger ball, but it was just so slow. So it allowed me to just get left and just bang on it, and without it like flipping too hard on me. So it was the right move, and yeah, it wasn't even building.
The left lane, gave you some trouble early. What was actually happening? Was it you? Was it the ball? A combination of both?
Combination of both. Unfortunately, the first 3 shots were not my best. The ones that went through the face, the 10-pin was really, really good. And I think it was just a the nerves a little bit, as well as a lot of the urethane. I threw plastic during practice. So kind of just the way the lanes developed, I think caused the left lane to be the tricky lane, which is why it was super important that we knew going in, finishing on the right lane, no matter what.
We talked a lot before the show about manifesting. Yes. And you said you saw what day this tournament was on, that you planned to win. And then I asked you, we're at 5 titles, and there's a big group of you that were at 5 titles.
Yes.
What does number 6 mean, and why was it so important for you to get there?
I feel like this might be my proudest win, just because I came back from, an early open, 3 bad shots, a missed makeable. And for me, I don't want to say my wins have been like a strike fest, but they've been a strike fest. And this one, I think, is going to go down as I didn't give up. I very easily could have been like, left lane, this is hard, this is not working, I'm not executing, she's got a good look, this is over. And instead I just I fought back. I wanted today to be cherry on top of the cake. I wanted to win, and yes, number 6 feels very nice.
You also talked about in our pre-match interview just how important your team is to you. Your husband Chris, your ball reps, your best friend Olivia. You joked your daughter, arguably one of the best amateur bowlers in the country right now, and Caitlin Stoll. Them working together is so important, and you and Chris and the tour reps working together is so important. There was a lot of chatter going on throughout the stepladder final here, this title match. What was that about, and how did it help you to get your win tonight?
I would not have won tonight if it wasn't for Chris being right behind me, kind of whispering in my ear, saying, just take a deep breath, follow your process. You don't have to do anything different than what you've been doing, the last 2 days. And then Liv plays the more like, let's just go and up a little bit and just breathe, do your thing. She's more of the hype and so they balance each other out really well. And again, I would not have been able to do it without the ball reps being so willing to work with Chris, and that dynamic, and them just always being on the same page no matter what. They agree, we agree, let's go get it. Doesn't matter, no ifs, ands, or buts. And so the communication for me is huge.
Well, congratulations. It was so much fun to watch.
Thank you.
Stephanie, I'm going to get you out of here with this one. 6 titles. This is your 5th season, and it's not even done, obviously. When you just think back to where you started to where you are now, and obviously one of the best rookie seasons we've seen back in 2021, how did this happen, and where are we going?
I am going to steal a line from D-Ron Booker at the Masters. I put the work in. I am prepared. Now I'm just showing it.
There you have it, folks. 6-time champion, PWBA Cleveland Open winner on her birthday for the 2nd time and winning here for the 2nd time. Stephanie Zavala. You got some more media to do, but congratulations. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you. I can't with Liv.
Well, Sydney Brummett, that was about as well put. And you talked about the confidence earlier, the opportunity to – or when you talked to her earlier about, I'm going to win, I'm ready to win, I'm here to win. And then, she put in the work, as she just said. That speaks volumes, perhaps more volumes than maybe anything else that she said as well. I mean, that puts it into stone, if you will, right? Your final thoughts as we wrap up here on this first night, so you can go back and go to sleep because you've got a bowl in the morning as well.
It's okay. Me and my team decided it was probably better if I was tired, because it'll make my brain a bit slower. I can turn it off tomorrow while I play and just enjoy bowling. But no, it's such a privilege to watch good bowling. I think that I was journaling this morning like I do every morning, and I just wrote down, I'm really grateful to watch great bowling all the time. And we've seen that from Stephanie Zavala day in and day out since she came out on tour. And I think it's something that we just can't take for granted right now. We're seeing greatness blossom right in front of us. She's not that many titles away from being Hall of Fame eligible without 2 majors.
Yep.
And it's only, her 4th season?
Season 5.
Season 5.
In the midst of it.
It's incredible. And I'm just grateful to be able to watch it and be part of it.
She has won at least 1 title now in 4 of her first 5 seasons. We saw some really good players start their careers off in the same way. Players like Danielle McEwen, Rocio Restrepo, for example. She's entering rare company. Now the first of the group that we talked about with 6 titles and looking for more here this week. Of course, the week is not over because we start anew tomorrow. The Bowl TV Open begins 10 a.m. Eastern with the first round of qualifying. Sydney Brummett will be back on the lanes along with the 94 additional competitors here at Yorktown Lanes. Great job again, Sydney Brummett. Thank you so
for
much.
having me.
I want to thank Mike Flanagan, our producer. Great job all day, Mike. Thank you to Spencer Mosier as well, our laneside cameraman. Thanks to Curtis Von Kruger, as well as Caleb Smiley. They will have some additional social content for you on the PWBA YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Congrats to all of our bowling ball giveaway winners tonight as well. Want to thank the United States Bowling Congress and the USBC Board, the Bowling Proprietors Association of America, and the BPAA Board. Kegel, the official lane maintenance provider of the PWBA and the United States Bowling Congress. The wonderful athletes, players like we watched today, Stephanie, Kelly, Olivia, Dasha, and Crystal, phenomenal athletes, and we will see more, of course, tomorrow. And you, the Bowl TV community, the best fans in all of bowling. Again, tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, Bowl TV Open qualifying will begin. For Sydney Brummett, Mike Flanagan, Caleb Curtis, and the entire crew, my name is Emil Williams Jr. Congrats again to Stephanie Zavala, a 6-time champion. You watched it live and only on Bowl TV. And remember, bowling lives here. Good night, folks.